Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. We got some new breaking news. Yesterday I had to take a break. I was tired, you guys. Oh my God, I was tired. Um, yeah, we have this. I mean, the internet is doing their thing. They're helping solving this case. Thank God that we have what I thought we didn't even have a community, and we do. You know what I mean? We really do. I'm trying to share out the live right now. Trying to share out the live. One second. Um, everything I'm watching. Well, this I didn't watch for the first time, obviously. But normally, whenever I am streaming, I'm watching everything from the first time. Other videos, I have not chosen any, right? And it's because I'm want to not see anything else without you guys. Make sure you share the live if you don't mind this morning. Share the live, tap the screen, show love, appreciate you. You know what I mean? Lord, it's a lot going on. You know what I mean? But let's see. Let's go with the flow. And I want y'all to notice they saying that they thank you for the love. I want y'all to notice though. They say all of them were friends. Like he hung around white friends. These look black to me. So I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like if he had a lot of white friends as they say he did, why are the ones, even the ones are not coming together? I'm confused about that. You know what I mean? But these look black to me. I don't know about what y'all think. Y'all make sure y'all comment. Give me some insight of what we're seeing this morning. This as well. Appreciate you.
They covered him up with the life jackets.
That's why they got all them damn life jackets right there. Whoa. And everybody looking. Oh my gosh. All right, y'all. We got a lot to cover, so I'm going to ask y'all off the rip. Make sure you hype this video, make sure you like, and make sure you hitting that subscribe button. The internet is going bananas over this subpoena. Now, we all know from watching Crocs on the ground videos that it's cameras all over the damn place. So when Warren had put out those text messages from him and Miss Christine Wansley, she said, oh, okay. You want to mess up me celebrating my baby birthday and all. Okay, all right. Subpoena. Where was that boat actually at when on that Cito call? Yeah, we got a whole lot to cover. Also, there's a picture going around, I'm sure y'all seen it, of the 3 boats. They said it was 4, but y'all remember that boat with all them life jackets on it?
360, Snapchat, and TikTok. So it looks like her legal team is trying to build their own timeline as to what happened, and they're going to find the discrepancies as well. It may not seem that serious to you, but trust and believe it's very serious. And you got to think about the whole coordinate thing also, because think about it. They told us that they were sinking and all that stuff, and that picture, that photo shows them in the middle of the water. So if they find out that that CTO call is not the same as that photo, they're going down. They're going down. And then also, if they find out that anybody in law enforcement or anybody that's up, higher up, that they had anything to do with it, if they're mentioned in any of those calls or any of that information and their name comes up, doesn't matter who it is. It could be the sheriff. It doesn't matter. They're going to be in trouble. But what do y'all think? This is a big thing, I'm telling you.
Remember, we had somebody connecting the dots, and this shit get really deep to the point you got people that was in Turning Point USA, allegedly. It's going to be a domino effect. There isn't just one person involved in this, y'all. There's a whole conglomerate of people dealing with this situation. And especially for a young man that's not this smart to cover up everything. Bro, you got judges, people in the family that own a whole damn boat service and all that, people owning parts of Horn Island and shit. Man, this shit is about to be big, bro. But y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think about these subpoenas. I also want to know what's going on when they subpoenaed Instagram, Snapchat, and all. We still waiting on that as well. So we got a lot to look forward to. I want to see what these people are going to do that's standing on the other side. People like Brandon Tay-Tay. Lil Tay-Tay know damn well what's going on. I don't know who's holding his hand with all of this, but God ain't gonna, man. God don't like this. God don't like this, but he is building up a story just so he could drop that bombshell we've been talking about. But y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video and hype as well. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.
Y'all, it's a lot of things. It's a lot that's about to happen. But I'm not studying about her. The Pamela Anthony. Not studying about her. Because I kind of hate when our folks, right, come out with the bare minimum of whatever that is. You know what I mean? Let's see what they are saying. Let's see. Let me see what's going on with Nolan. Oh, not. I ain't worried about that. This 11 hours. Nolan Wells. Okay, let's see what they got.
Nolan Wells friends have finally made good on their promise. They're now threatening Al Sharpton in this leaked document. So they sent Al Sharpton this particular document, giving him an ultimatum that I believe almost certainly Al Sharpton is not going to cooperate with. And they're going to have to actually go through with this.
Al Sharp tongue
He said he wants them to.
has barked himself up the wrong tree.
They're talking about Al Sharpton like Al Sharpton is this peon or something, man, that they could bully.
There is a lawsuit and a pursuit of a lawsuit against him for defamation against Warren, Jax, and Morgan. And I don't want to hear none of y'all say that they just asking questions. No, they have put out false information with no evidence against these young boys. And let me tell you this, and I want everybody to be very clear about this. The days of hoodwinking, the days of bludgeoning white people, accusing them of things they didn't do, leveraging the power of the civil rights movement against innocent people, those days are over.
Let's get through this document. So obviously it's coming from Tyler Cox, and they're representing Warren, Jax, and Morgan, as you guys just heard. Now, the lawsuit starts off like super. Now, again, not even a lawsuit. It's like a demand letter. It's a warning. But it starts off super petty, right? It starts off saying, hey, all right, this letter should come as no surprise to you since you recently welcomed a lawsuit against you, boasting at the National Association of Black Journalists Convention. Here's the thing, bruh. These people, this is how you know this is not done in good faith whatsoever, right? And they're doing themselves no favor. You start off this demand letter that's going to be presented to the public, that's going to be presented to the Black community with, oh yeah, this is come as no surprise to you because we heard you was popping it at the National Association for Black Journalists. Oh yeah, we heard you was popping it. So now we popping it too. It just seems so vindictive, so petty. Like this is not the best way to start off like this quote unquote lawsuit or demand letter. And these boys are looking more terrible as the days go by. So they continue. Okay, so here is the quote from Al Sharpton. But I will say this on stage. I want them to sue me first. I want to depose your son. If you sue, the plaintiffs are deposed. And let's go to civil court, any kind of court you want to go to, because you can't make this make sense. We're happy, again, the petty stuff. Oh, we are happy to grant your wish. Unless you comply with the demand set forth in his letter, we will immediately be filing suit against you. However, we're pleased that you too welcome deposition. But the problem here is, well, the question here is, what exactly are they suing Al Sharpton for? What are the defamatory statements they're claiming that Al Sharpton made? The defamation they're suing Al Sharpton for is absolutely laughable, and it just screams desperation. This just reeks desperation.
Y'all, this is techniques that they do. Back and forth letters, then sue him. You know what I mean? The man said, I want you to sue me. He's going to question them. He's going to go at them with everything. They don't even understand how just stupid it is. Go at that man. Go at him. Go at him.
So they're claiming that Al Sharpton was on TMZ and he spoke on the events surrounding this Nolan Wells death and why he's involved in this case. And they go, Al Sharpton wrote, I was, first of all, stunned at the fact that this young man, is going out. He and 3 friends, he black, they white. And, I'm reading this exactly how they quoted it. So you could truly see how they're reaching at straws. In this case, have no legitimacy whatsoever. They go, a day later, his mother and them start searching for him. No one comes forward. And then they find out after 2 days that they claim his body was washed up and that they have given his cell phone and his keys to one of the 3 friends, saying he didn't want to go back from Horn Island with them. What about that is defamation? What about that is an accusation? He just listed the facts of the case that were already public. But here's the thing. He didn't name these kids by name. He says that like 3 friends. Bart could have been one of the friends. The other quote unquote white folk. Bro, wasn't there like 30 white folks that came with them all on a boat? So Al Sharpton didn't even say their name, didn't even allude to which one of the 3 friends he's referring to, but he continued, okay? And he says,
and I want you guys to know, you just can't, you could sue anybody. Don't mean it's going to stick. But if he sue that man is going to go back and sue him. So I don't know what they think is going to happen with this.
Have they brought these 3 young men in for questioning under oath? Again, question mark. You would get, so they go, you would get left no doubt who you're referring to when you stated, how does anybody say that, oh, no race played a role unless you know the 3 guys and the 3 guys were forthcoming? Again, that's a question. Hey, how do you guys know they're telling the truth if you guys don't know these people? That's a question. Yo, they're setting themselves up to get just brutally destroyed, man. Because if you go to this quote unquote defamation suit and you move forward with it and you guys lose it, most reasonable people will see you lose the defamation case and say, yeah, Al Sharpton didn't defame y'all. But there's a portion of the internet that you guys are fighting against for some reason, right? If y'all lose this defamation case, it's going to be confirmation for some people that they were involved in Nolan's death. Fair or unfair, that's what people are going to say. Why put yourself in this position? This is not defamation at all. I'm not even an attorney, and this is not defamation. So they go, continuing your racist vitriol, you further identify your targets when you says you got to look at the possibility of racism at different levels. 1, were any of the 3 guys racist? You later asked, have they interrogated the 3 young men? Again, he asked, you got to look at racism at all levels. Were any of the 3 guys racist? Again, he's proposing a question. Yo, I don't know who was bankrolling this or who was funding this, because I don't know. If Warren, Jax, and Morgan, if they're the ones that are wasting their money on this, bro, oh my God. Y'all wasting y'all money, bro. This is a money grab. Bro, this is not going anywhere, in my opinion. So then they will also continue and they will say, you clearly intended that your audience would know exactly who you were talking about when Warren, Jackson, Morgan, your full defamatory statement set forth below contain lie after lie about each of the three young men. So here is what they're saying is the defamatory statement. They go, I was, first of all, stunned at the fact that this young man is going out. He and three friends, he black, they white. A day later, his mother and them start searching for him. No one comes forward. So they're saying no one comes forward is defamatory. And then they find out after 2 days that they claim his body was washed up and that they had given his cell phone and his keys to one of the three friends, saying he didn't want to go back from Horn Island with them. Well, first of all, it's very, very unlikely for most 18-year-olds to ever give up their phone. But if you're going to stay on an island and nobody's there other than people, tourists, or partiers, why would you want to give up your cell phone? Now, they're saying this is the full defamation right here. Then when they track the cell phone down and find out which one of the young men had it and his keys, which they first said they didn't have, then he had to admit he did. All of his phone, text messages, everything on the phone had been erased. So what hit me strange, one, he's missing without a cell phone. Two, you lie about whether or not you had the cell phone and the keys. And three, everything's erased from the cell phone. That's too many unanswered questions for us not to say that something is amiss here. Here's the thing, and here's where, okay, this is not defamation. Nolan Wells' father told a story of when they pulled up. Again, when they pulled up, Jack says, I can't find the keys. We don't got the keys, according to Nolan Wells' father. And it was a girl who hopped on the phone and said, oh, no, the keys is on top of somebody's Xbox. If it was Jack's, I don't know, but one of the friends said it. Al Sharpton is just repeating what he heard publicly. This don't arise to the level of defamation at all. Yo, you'll have to prove that this exact statement right here from Al Sharpton, caused pain and suffering. No, these statements were already out there. He repeated what the parents said. You can't sue Al Sharpton without, again, if a Nolan Wells father lied, which he has no reason to lie, I don't think he's lying. But if y'all saying no, that's not true, that they didn't say they didn't have the keys, then that's for Nolan Wells' father, not for Al Sharpton. But even if Al Sharpton says, okay, Al Sharpton misinterpreted the phone thing, but he was right about the keys. I don't think people understand, the level of specifics and the criteria you have to reach for defamation. Defamation has to be intentional. Defamation has to be malicious. This just tells me, no, like Al Sharpton said phone instead of.
And I'm glad that he's saying that. And I'm glad he's explaining what that is, because I think people think they can go around doing whatever they want at this point. You know what I mean? Or just suing just because. People don't understand you also can countersue. So, just saying.
Saying just keys. The keys were still missing. They said they didn't have the keys. Then they found the keys in the crib. How is that defamation? I don't know what everybody's obsession is with like Nolan Wells' birthday celebration. Tatum did like a 30-minute video on how like Jamal Bryant and other people were speaking at the celebration they didn't like. But these people are obsessed with this birthday celebration because they also brought it up as well, okay? So during the birthday celebration, they're claiming, that Al Sharpton said these particular words right here that they claim was, I guess, defamatory towards Warren, Jackson, Morgan, okay? So the statement was, he had friends in a community in Ocean Springs, and as one would do with friends, holidays you spend together, on the 4th of July of this year, he and 3 young white male friends, people he was acquainted with, decided to go to Horn Island because that's where a lot of the festivities happened. Hours later, the 3 friends came back and he was not with them. And that is where the mystery happened. When his parents recognized he was not back at a certain time, they started calling around and they found out that he had not come back with 3 friends. And that's where it gets cloudy. What the friends knew, when they knew it, why they didn't hand over the cell phone over right away when it was clear he was not back with them, the keys, all that needs to be litigated. But he's not lying, right? Like, they had the phone. They had the phone, for a period of time. Nolan Wells' mama realized that Nolan Wells was missing around, like she said, around 8 p.m. Warren didn't call her until about 10-ish, I was told, right? Around like 10 p.m.-ish, right? Because she called Nolan's phone around 8 p.m. a couple of times. He didn't pick up. You know, she ain't think nothing of it. Warren called her around 10-ish. Now, by 10, Warren had already discovered that he or they or whoever were in possession of Nolan's phone because Warren told the mama that they were in possession of Nolan's phone. So they continue and they claim that this statement is defamatory because, according to them, is contrary to multiple lies in a defamatory statement. They said the truth is Warren, Jax, and Morgan did not touch Nolan's cell phone or keys on July 4th. This is so sneaky. This is so sneaky, bruh. You know why this is so sneaky? Because Wyatt is who had Nolan's phone. But they all came back together. So they're just grouping everybody together. Yo, Wyatt had his phone. Warren alerted the mama, oh yeah, they got his phone. We got his phone, according to the mama. So it's so sneaky because Wyatt had the phone, but Wyatt was a part of the group. Which is why, again, it's not defamation because Al Sharpton never said the name. So you can't tell the court, hey, he was talking about Warren, Jackson, Morgan, and not Wyatt and Bart. Oh, he was talking about, no, when he says they had the phone, he was talking, no, how? He never said a name. He never said a name. He said Wyatt. No, he said the friends had the phone, right? The friends had the phone. But let's continue, man. These people, bro, these people are so slick, bro. If Wyatt had the phone or the keys and y'all all came back together, he's grouping the grouping. The group had the phone and the keys. So he continues and he says, Warren, Jackson, Morgan did not access the phone. They never said they did. Al Sharpton never said they did. Al Sharpton simply said, yo, things were deleted from out that phone. Who did it? He don't know. Warren, Jackson, or Morgan did not erase anything on Nolan's phone. Warren, Jackson, or Morgan did not tamper with anything on Nolan's phone. Warren, Jackson, or Morgan, like many other of his friends, did come forward, contacting not only Nolan's family, but also the Coast Guard, and even returned to Orange Island to search for Nolan. Warren, Jackson, and Morgan did not have any knowledge whatsoever the tragic death of Nolan Wells. Okay, right? Now, let's continue. So they gave a factual background where they're claiming, yo, this is like the GPS data. If them didn't do anything wrong. Here is like their particular evidence. They're claiming, yo, look at the pictures. This is them boarding the boat. But where are the pictures of them docking on their way back? Where's the pictures of them hopping off the off the boat when they got back? Right? So they have evidence for everything, but they don't have evidence for that. Now, yeah, this particular thing we already saw, right? So right here, they says, while Warren, Jax, and Morgan were there, Nolan seemed in good spirits and enjoying Independence Day. Below are pictures of Nolan amidst a large group of young people at approximately 1:55 p.m. Showing Nolan at 1:55 p.m. does nothing for the theory of where was Nolan at 3 p.m., where was Nolan at 4 p.m., where was Nolan? Okay. And they show like more like GPS data. These threats are a big nothing burger. I think at this point they're panicking, they're grasping at straws. Al Sharpton is an attorney. I think Al Sharpton is an attorney, I'm not sure. But Al Sharpton has been around the legal system his entire life if he's not an attorney. I think Al Sharpton is wise enough to know when is defamation and when it's not. And he never said their names at all. And much of what he said was him proposing questions and not making statements. So I don't know.
Well, it's the intent. Was they being malicious? Did they know they were doing XYZ? Do they, it's a lot to it. It is hard to even like find people guilty of those in those cases. Like it's just like he's speculating they are too. And I hope Nolan's parents, I said it, sue whomever it is that is using her son's likeness, like his friends, putting Nolan Wells friends, stuff like that. No, we don't know. His mama don't know you to be his friend. You shouldn't be subscribing to that. Yeah, it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a mess. I can tell you that. It's just gonna be a mess.
Where they go thinking that this is gonna scare Al Sharpton or scare anybody, but this is crazy, bro. Like, if this is what they got on Al Sharpton, hey man, good luck, okay? Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here to find out why
I don't know.
Tatum just accused Nolan Wells parents of some really crazy stuff, things that nobody should ever utter out their mouth about grieving parents. But Tatum feels like he has the authority to do this. I can't even prepare you for the absolute nonsense you're about to hear from Tatum. So I'm going to give you guys a few quotes just so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Here are a couple of quotes from the next 10 minutes you're about to hear. How come they get to stay home from work to grieve their son, but Ashley Cole, Warren's mama, can't stay home from work? How come y'all giving them money to stay home and grieve, but y'all not giving Warren money?
Oh,
I don't even think they want justice for their son. I think they want the money. This man has lost his mind, and at this point, I don't know how much lower Tatum can go. This is sick.
The truth.
Can you imagine to be insulted that you want answers and closure about your son?
I say it all the time. All we did was ask a question.
Yes.
We asked a question that any good, loving, caring parent or parents would ask if something like this happened. I would hope, and I have said this every interview, press conference, I would hope that, God forbid, if you were in this situation, that you would ask the same question. You would want to know, because when you are left with your child is gone.
Yes.
We can't answer what happened, when it happened. We can't answer any of these questions. It's hard to cycle through the stages of grief, and you get stuck.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's all we did was ask a question. And I have, really just tried to mentally, but you can't mentally prepare yourself for any of this, because at the end of the day, and I've said it before, we didn't ask for this.
Yeah, shock and awe.
We did not ask to lose our child. We have not asked for people. Let me say this. We have not begged, because that's another thing. We have not begged anyone to donate to the GoFundMe. What we have said is that if you can, great. Thank you. We appreciate it, because what people don't understand is situations like this, there's so much that comes with it. Elmore and I have not been to work since early July.
Yeah.
That first week, we've not been to work. And I'm going to be honest with you, the profession that I have sometimes is emotionally heavy.
Yeah.
So now I have to kind of sit within myself and be like, okay, are we really ready for this? Are we ready to go back to that life?
Which, by the way, is completely normal. You probably can't tell by Tatum's face as they're talking, but parents take time off when they lose a kid. That's not new. That's not new at all. And especially for a case like this publicized with this much publicity, their jobs probably don't want them back at this time. It'll be too much of a distraction. With this case and the amount of publicity this case is currently receiving, they're out chasing justice for their son. They probably don't have time to go back to work. I relate to Christine so much when she says, my job as a nurse is emotionally taxing. I don't know if I'm prepared for that right now after losing my son. And the reason why I relate to that, Nolan Wells friends have finally made good on their...
Hold up, y'all. Let's see what's going on with the drama. Ain't nobody worrying about you. Okay, let's go here. I said same law. Okay, this is
Nolan and Wyatt's dad had a secret friendship that we weren't even in.
Yeah, they were like best friends.
We would go over to Wyatt's house, and Nolan, we would all be in the backyard, whatever, doing something, and Nolan would be inside on the couch with Wyatt's dad, and they would just be cutting it up all night.
Yeah.
I bet you $1,000,000 if it was 5 black boys and 1 white boy on the boat. By now, there would have been an arrest, there would have been a warrant, there would have been a seizure. But because America doesn't believe that Black Lives Matter, they trying to act offended because we want to ask the question, what happened to our brother? And when we ask the question, what happened? The response is we're still gathering information. We're waiting on toxicology, waiting on the grand jury. Am I my brother's keeper? That's the question underneath every delayed subpoena, every sealed file, every complaint filed against a grieving mother's nursing license. Instead of asking whoever left her son on the island, the institutional Mississippi still muttering Kane's excuse, it's not my problem. I wanted to come to Mississippi today from Georgia to let the system and to let the establishment know, let that be the last time you try to intimidate a black mother. She's got every right to fight for her son, to stand for her son, to question her son, and you better not mess with her nurse's license. Leave that black woman alone.
Well, we actually have proof that Grandpa Jerry was actually on Horns Island as well, which makes sense why he was able to call the captain, because he physically was watching it. Now, who was Wyatt on the phone with? Well, we know he was on the phone with Cito Call, but let me show you Grandpa Jerry.
White-haired old man. Look, I just want you.
And she also gave us a little specialty on Wyatt. And Now, I thank her for that treat because we all been asking the same question. Where is Wyatt? Why haven't we heard from Wyatt? Where are his boats that one we know was missing from the MDMR report? We just have no information, no nothing on him. He is seemingly in the dark, and like he's just disappeared somewhere. So where is he, and why haven't we heard from him?
Wait, text messages were just released between Nolan's mom and Warren that can answer a lot of questions. And I need you to, I'm gonna go through these text messages one by one. You tell me, does it look like somebody like Warren is trying to hide something, or does it look like he's being a true friend? Now, first of all, I thought that Nolan's dad showed up unannounced as the way, Warren and them told the story. Here's a text message, July 5th, 2 a.m. Nolan's dad is out the house to pick up the key. Remember, he was trying to get the key from Jax. He said Jax couldn't find it, or it was taking forever. Then somebody else found it, and he didn't trust Jax after that. So then here's the next one. That day in the afternoon, hey, Warren, what kind of sunglasses did Nolan wear? I'm pretty sure Ray-Bans Mrs. Christine. This is Warren. Then Warren says, hey, Mrs. Christine, just wanted to check in. We went out this morning to look, and I've been on off the phone with Jackson County Sheriff's Office today. If you need anything at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. She says, thank you. Warren says, we are all praying for your family. We appreciate it. Then it gets deeper. Now, right here, she asked Warren what boat he was on or what boat Nolan was on. He says, Nolan went out on the 22 Triton offshore, and I was on the 24 tie line. I ain't heard much about the 24 tie line. On the way out, we were on separate boats. I went back on the Triton DMR, and the sheriff's office has all this information. Then if you look again, Monday, July 6th, 1:37 p.m., hey, Warren, can you collect any of Nolan's items left at Jack's house? So it was still items after her father went there? I don't know. Then here's Warren again. Good morning, Miss Christine. I just wanted to let you know that my family and I have been praying for you and your family. Nolan was one of my best friends since we were in 8th grade together. You and Mr. Elmore raised one of the best men I've ever met. I wish I could be there today, but I would never want to take the attention off of your family and Nolan and be a distraction. Thank you for being the best parents that Nolan could have had. This was the day of the funeral, that Monday. Now, these are cut off. I want to know the full message up here, because this is where it seemed like it got a little spicy. It appears Miss Christine, Nolan's mom, said exactly where you saw him last. I'm sorry I am asking you to repeat this. 3 p.m. West Tip, north side of Horn Island. Where did you guys launch for him? He sent the location. And I don't know why this is blurred out. We launched the boats yesterday evening and left from here this morning.
Let me throw another question at you. And look, I'm not wearing a prosecution or a defense hat. As you know, I'm a crime victim. I would say I'm coming at it from that angle. But I was very disturbed, Greg, when I got wind that there is no criminal investigation. It's been said over and over and over. Why not? We don't know how he died. For instance, if he did have water in his lungs, okay, maybe he did drown. But how did he get in the water? Did he fall in the water? Was somebody, wrestling with him in the water and they held him down? They went, oh, my stars, I killed him and left. Did he hit his head? I mean, there's a lot more to it than saying, oh, yeah, he drowned. How can someone state there is no criminal investigation? I understand a grand jury is about to be convened. That doesn't mean there's a crime, but doesn't that suggest to you a grand jury inside the Superior Courthouse, inside the district attorney's office, would suggest there is a criminal investigation?
Well, it would potentially lead someone to believe that, yeah, a criminal investigation was undergoing. When we look at how this has played out over the last 6 weeks, how law enforcement has acted, they haven't seized Nolan Wells' phone at this point. In a criminal investigation, law enforcement's going to tools to get this information.
Are you sitting down, Morris?
Drowning. I'm sitting down, and this could just be a drowning. And that's why they're looking at it that way, because nothing's told them it's
yet.
But everything's not a crime. It doesn't have to be investigated as a crime.
You're still talking. We've already established that. Here's the other, you know what? I'm going to let you think about what you just said.
Something I just can't get past is the CTO video that Officer Race Tatum shared. Now, something that's odd about it, which we know, is that there's no audio. Why not include audio? Also, why do none of them have life jackets on? Also, why would they not get off a sinking boat onto the boat that was taking the video of them sinking? Why is that video of them sinking? Wouldn't there be a longer part to that video? Also, Cito, Wyatt, we're on the phone together, right, with Vicky. At the same time, Jerry, the grandpa, was on a call with Captain Seth Ward. Why would Jerry be on the call? Why would they cancel the Cito call? Now, we know that Fart Jr. gave them a tow in, but if I'm the grandfather, wouldn't I rather have Cito give them the tow in than somebody with just like a piece of string? Jerry is on the call with Seth Ward saying no tow is needed. So is it possible that this is an alibi phone call? Like Captain Seth never said the tow isn't needed because they have help. It just was canceled. Why would you cancel that tow? And can you imagine Wyatt being like, no, we're good. We're going to have one of our buddies tow us in. The grandfather would have insisted that Cito come and tow them. Why did the grandfather cancel Cito? Jerry only called the captain to say they don't need a tow, cancel it. It sounds like more like a personal call, cancel it, because one of the friends' alleged drunk buddies is going to tow him in on a piece of dental floss. Does that make sense to you at all? And again, if they're on a sinking boat, why is there like 7 of them on the boat posing? You would think they would all get off the boat, right? Strap the boat up to the boat that wasn't sinking and then make the call. Again, there's no metadata on the Cito video that Officer Race Tatum put out, and that TMZ, nobody has confirmed the metadata. So as for us, and in my opinion, that video looks staged. What do you guys think?
Y'all, just when I thought things could not get worse, this case is just taking all types of turns. Like, it's crazy. Now that we done found out that the DA husband is an FBI agent, like, we can't even get help from the FBI. But y'all, hear me out. Whatever's in Nolan's phone, the DA know what's inside the phone. They've been talking to the granddaddy. They've been talking to the parents, the judge. Man, these people are connected. You got governors. You got people that own Horn Island, CETO, public relations. You got doctors, anesthesiologists. Like, these people, this is bad. This is really bad. In GTA, these people could run a whole organ trafficking if they wanted to. This is crazy. This is beyond crazy. They know what's in the phone. They already been in contact with the kids. They know what happened. Everybody just got to stick to the story. That's why they want to all of a sudden demand the phone, because they want to delete what's in the phone that will prove what actually happened to him.
And Nancy Grace just said on her show that there are reports that Nolan Xavier Wells did not have any boogshug in his system. Now, she did say these are uncorroborated reports, but there are reports out there, and we are waiting on the toxicology official report from the state's autopsy. But it seems that if this ends up being true, which I believe with everything in my heart, that a D1 college athlete going off to play football the week after 4th of July weekend is not going to be putting substances like that or any other substance like that in his body because he knows that he could get tested and he's a committed athlete, and that is not something that they do. Now, if this comes out, I have a challenge to you. Officer Race Batum Tatum, will you apologize to the world? Because you're the one who said, oh, I've got a good friend, a little birdie, who told me that there was a guy giving out copious amounts of boogshug on the island and that Nolan was taking the boogshug, the white powder, to his nose. Will you apologize, Tatum? Because you're always telling me, oh, you're going to have to apologize. You're going to have to apologize.
A Nolan Wells phone evidence torpedo.
2 confirmed witnesses that saw Nolan Wells on the island around p.m. The Triton, as you said, left around 4:30.
What witnesses? Where? Who, what, where, why, and when? The Nolan Wells investigation into the death of a shining star, Nolan Wells, has an altercation witness emerged. A witness that claims she saw an altercation at Horn Island.
Finally heard from the district attorney of Jackson County, Mississippi. So District Attorney Mickelrath finally sends out an actual press release letter dated for August 18th. And it's very long-winded. I'm going to read it to you guys. I'm going to give you a quick little synopsis of what it states. It mainly says, I cannot send letters out like the legal teams can do. I cannot put information out there to the public like the other legal teams have to do. There's certain laws that I have to abide by. There's certain ethics and codes I have to abide by. Please let this investigation be thorough, and please let us do what we need to do. I am going to be giving this to the grand jury and let the grand jury make the decision on this case. That's essentially what it says, but I'm going to read it to you guys anyways. As you can see, here is the press release statement from District Attorney Angel Myers Mickelrath to the people of Jackson County, Mississippi. And it states, as District Attorney, I do not have the same freedom to share information publicly that private individuals may have. A little bigger there. For example, I do not have the freedom to release letters I've sent in the investigation, discuss witness cooperation, or testing of the evidence. I do not have the freedom to identify what information is fact over another, nor do I control the information released by private individuals who are not part of the investigative team. I cannot control whether private individuals release letters they have sent me, just as I cannot prevent them from releasing letters that I've sent them. What it seems like she's saying here is that I can't control what you guys are hearing and seeing and reading from Nolan Wells' legal team. She also said, I cannot control which facts or bits of information are shared or whether information is being shared in context, twisted, or misconstrued. Public commentary does not make the speaker transparent, just like exercising restraint consistent with the laws does not make a person or a process corrupt. The fact that something is said does not necessarily mean it's true. Next, prosecutors are held to the highest level of ethical standards of the law, as it should be. People deserve no less. I understand that a void is perceived when some are speaking publicly about a matter while others do not. I would be stepping outside of the bounds of law if I were to fill that void and share information publicly. With all the public pressure being placed on my office, filling the void would not only serve to get pressure off of me. Nolan deserves better. There is no pressure that can be placed on me and no force that is greater than the weight of the oath I took and my responsibility to the people that I have. My obligation and commitment is to present to the grand jury with all the evidence collected in this case in order for them to reach a decision. And I am obliged to do so in keeping the law and the rules of the court. Now, the bottom piece here, I think, is really, really important. On July 23rd, 2026, I released a recorded statement explaining the process and what the people of Jackson County elected me to do in this matter. There is nothing more to be shared at this time. I caution the public about assigning trustworthy things and to read what they read and see online. I also ask, rather than individuals demanding that I step outside the grounds, to also allow me to do my job and do what I was elected to do. At the bottom, she says, I stand firmly on the rule of the law and ethical obligation. This is what the people of Jackson County elected me to do, and I will present to the grand jury a thorough, complete investigation. To me, it looks like McIlrath is not going to adhere to a joint investigation, but she's also alluding to the fact that maybe some of the information that we're being told by the Wells family attorney and the civil rights attorney, Ben Crump, maybe not all of it is accurate. Maybe not all of it is valid. Maybe not all of it is credible. It does make the wheels turn a little bit. It makes the hamster wheel go a little bit in the squash. What do you guys think?
That looks pretty long. You know, tritons are built to hold massive amount of fish. As you can see in this picture of the triton, that's his leg compared to the door, y'all. Just in this area alone, that is deep enough and long enough to place a body.
Wouldn't you think that you would have seen on the bottom of on the floor or something?
Look at their fucking body language.
Or scrambling around, or everybody in a pot, like in a small space on the boat looking at him.
Morgan tenses up and starts shaking his leg, and you can see his face, and he immediately looks over.
Wouldn't you think that you would have seen on the bottom of on the floor or something? Or scrambling around, or everybody in a pot, like in a small space on the boat looking at him.
Warren is staring. Warren, you breathing pretty hard there, Bob.
Wouldn't you think that you would have seen on the bottom on the floor or something? Or scrambling around, or everybody in a pot, like in a small space on the boat looking at him.
In my last video, I show you that there's 2 doors up under here, as you can see up under Wyatt's brother. Specifically, some up to 6.5 feet long. Nolan Wells was 6'1". I find it fucking creepy that you would say something like that, Jax. I mean, you said it. Another photo of the triton. I did notice the sticker's different. This one is green, but it could be changed every so often. Oh yeah, look at this. Wyatt's brother Ike has a fishing account. He named it the Fish Killing Machine, but better yet, he states that I have a lot of connections on the Gulf Coast from Alabama to Louisiana. So I guess that allegedly makes sense as to why Wyatt would call Cito, because y'all were brothers, and brothers always share connections. Allegedly, right? And little birdies are saying, it's not been completely verified, but that I'm hearing that somebody who has an inside source is saying the DA's office in Mississippi is now looking at the Nolan Wells case as a criminal investigation and no longer an accidental drowning. Now, we can only pray that this is true. Obviously, we can't celebrate. We can't get excited at all because I have not seen Ben Crump announce this. It is not being reported by any other major media sources, but there are rumblings. And so we have to take rumblings. We have to take any little bits we can take. Remember, no stone unturned. We must look in every single direction. We must continue to keep the pressure on because they want us to forget about Nolan. And little do they know that will never happen. His name will be said for generations to come, and I will be part of making sure.
Nolan Wells, the blackout in Gary, Indiana, public lynchings of Black people.
What do those three things have in common? All of these were stories that the mainstream news media did not report until we started making them trend on social media. And by we, I mean Black folks. I'm talking about us. Sorry if you're not tribe. I'd be jealous if I were you, but that's not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is this. We know that the algorithms are trash. We know that the algorithm is built against us and people who talk about what we talk about. We know that these algorithms and these platforms are controlled by billionaires who want to control us. And we have more power than we think. So when we decide to get in unison, be one band, one sound, we can actually dictate the terms of the news instead of the news dictating the terms to us. Never, ever forget your power and keep on saying the names.
A phone buzzed on a boat heading back to shore. It belonged to an 18-year-old boy, but the boy wasn't on the boat. Nobody said a word. That single detail has driven this case from the very beginning. A young man boards a boat with people he trusted, sails out to a remote island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and then somewhere between the water, the heat, and the 4th of July weekend, he simply does not come back. No goodbye. No distress call. No explanation that has fully satisfied the people who loved him most. Just a body recovered 2 days later, a cause of death still officially undetermined, and a grieving family left to piece together their son's final hours, one text message, one boat record, and one unanswered question at a time. His name was Nolan Wells. He was 18 years old. He had a future. And this case is far from closed. Before we go any further, you need to know what you are walking into. What you are about to hear involves the loss of a young man under circumstances that remain unresolved and deeply troubling. The details covered in this documentary are serious. If content involving unexplained death, institutional failures, and the fight of a grieving family for basic transparency is something you need to prepare yourself for, take a moment now. For those of you who are new here, welcome to Unsolved Files. This channel exists for one reason: to keep the spotlight on the cases that deserve answers and to make sure the people at the center of them are never reduced to just...
I know y'all remember this.
You have no idea who you're dealing with.
Any corruption and cover-up starts with your connections.
Ocean Springs is going to have Ocean Springs back.
And guess what town the DA lives in? Ocean Springs.
I understand the public's urgency to know what happened to Nolan, but we are not taking time for time's sake.
The Mississippi Rising Coalition recently posted this with questions on Facebook for the DA. One question, does the DA have any personal relationships with the friend's parents? And the second one, because she's involved in a lot of these local women's groups, even women's Republican groups, does she have any connection with Judge Ashley Cole? And would that be a conflict of interest? And asking if she should recuse herself from an investigation involving a child of one of her professional colleagues.
Nolan Wells, the blackout in Gary, Indiana, public lynchings of Black people. What do those three things have in common? All of these were stories that the mainstream news media did not report until we started making them trend on social media. And by we, I mean Black folks. I'm talking about us. Sorry if you're not tribe. I'd be jealous if I were you, but that's not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is this. We know that the algorithms are trash. We know that the algorithm is built against us and people who talk about what we talk about. We know that these algorithms and these platforms are controlled by billionaires who want to control us. And we have more power than we think. So when we decide to get in unison, be one band, one sound, we can actually dictate the terms of the news instead of the news dictating the terms to us. Never, ever forget your power and keep on saying the names. And make sure that you're subscribed to Black-owned media, independent media, Joy Reid, Roland Martin, Don Lemon, The Root.
Say that boat pulled off Horn Island at 4:31, and there were still around 300 people out on that island. So 6 o'clock does not empty the picture, it changes who is standing in it.
Nolan Wells' case seems to be taking a backwards path. That's right. All of a sudden, a new witness have come forward, and what she had to say takes us back to the beginning. And we're about to get into it. But before we get into it, I need you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that you're alerted the next time I upload a new video. Remember, we talked about Katie in the beginning. This witness is bringing information that just may blow your mind. Let's talk about it. In the beginning of the Nolan Wells case, Warren sat down with Officer Tatum and stated that Nolan stayed back on the island with Katie. Then later on, more information came out stating that there was an altercation on the island, but the boys swore that that was not Nolan. Now we have a witness coming out and stating that she saw Nolan Wells get into an altercation over his phone on the island. Thanks to Secret Service Sam, he gave us an update regarding this. Take a look at this clip.
I've not spoken publicly about this before, but I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterward. Everything beyond what I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred after I left. Then she said she messaged one of the individuals that she saw, hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and I saw the argument between you guys and we'll go to the police with this information. I also have video footage. My husband doesn't show much, but it shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady.
Or could this account be correct and accurate? That's what we need to find out. But remember, we had the attorney make a statement and say that someone saw Nolan Wells in an altercation at approximately 6 p.m. and that was after the boys had left. Now, the timeline on this altercation that the new witness is stating, or is this one of the witnesses? We don't know the timeline because she didn't give it in this quote unquote confession, I want to say. But nevertheless, they wanted to say Nolan Wells wasn't involved in that altercation. However, we had other statements come out and said Nolan Wells was involved and it was over the phone and it was regarding Katie. And all of a sudden, Katie disappeared. Now we have lion-ass Brandon Tatum sitting down with Nancy Grace, giving a whole different account. This man is going to hell with gasoline draws on. But listen to what he had to say on Nancy Grace yesterday.
Partier at Horn Island, that is significant. It could prove or disprove your friend's timeline.
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. Nobody that I've talked to have alluded that this altercation was real. And also Katie, whom I saw her text messages, she didn't even say this altercation occurred. What I will say is that if I was an investigator in this investigation, I want to hear that. I want to be able to compare that information to other things that we may have or other witness statements. But I don't think it's significant because it doesn't show if Nolan Wells was actually killed in that altercation. She's claiming that there was an altercation between him arguing with somebody else. There was a potential fight, but that doesn't get me to how did he drown? How did he get in the water? And how did he not recover and come home to his family? So I would take that into consideration. I would compare that to the other interviews that I've done, but I don't think it's significant whatsoever. However, I would be incredibly skeptical because there's no other statements that I've heard from anybody that comes even close to an altercation with Nolan Wells and others over a girl.
Now, we all know Officer Tatum is a big liar because he's going to hell with gasoline draws on, okay? But either he's trying to save face, covering for the boys, or being paid to lie. We all know, or speculations is out there, that he's in some type of arrangement because you see his bourbon sitting behind the attorney and all of that extra stuff. So we know he's tied into these people. But the clip I'm about to show you, this man just sat there and told Nancy Grace he never heard of it. But here is a clip of this man stating that someone DM'd him this very conversation that we just heard. And he didn't know the time. Then he started talking about 6 p.m. How you go from you don't know the time that they saw this, but it was at 6 p.m. in the end. This man, this whole case, this cover up is so unreal. But we all know why. Take a look at this clip.
Received a DM from someone DMing another person. Now I'm trying to leave these names out because I want to not mess this investigation up. I think law enforcement already had this. That alluded to the fact that, and I messaged this person because I want to talk directly to the person that I saw the DM from. And we haven't talked to this person yet. But the person said in the DM to another kid that is associated, not any of the kids that I interviewed to talk to, but that could be associated to some degree, that knew Nolan, that this person wrote a message saying, me and my husband saw you arguing with Nolan, and to the effect of you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. Now, the person did not say they saw a physical altercation. The person did not say what time they saw Nolan and this other person getting into an argument. Now, this is after Warren, their boat left. This may be somewhere around a little bit before 6. What I'm thinking at this point, with all that has been said, is that somebody knows exactly what happened to Nolan, or they saw him right before he died. I am not convinced that Nolan was just out there and drowned.
The unsurmountable amount of cover up in this case shows us, proves nothing but guilt surrounding those boys, in my opinion. This is absolutely ridiculous how they're stringing along these parents who just wants answers. The DA constantly trying to flip the script when she's unable to, because it always come back to backfire. She's debunked every time. No one should be above the law. This here shows us proof that these people think they're above the law, in my opinion. Nolan Wells' case needs justice.
And it does not end there. It gets heavier. Because there is one piece of footage in this whole case that people keep getting handed like it settles everything: the boat video. Every single time somebody raises a question, that is the answer that comes back. Watch the video. The video speaks for itself. Well, people finally sat down and watched it properly, and what came back out of it is now part of why Nolan's family wants the federal government in. Before I take you through it, do me one favor. Subscribe and turn the bell on. If you've been following this case, you already know how much effort is going into pointing people away from one question, which is what happened to Nolan Wells.
I ain't worried about that. Y'all, I done found something. Hold up 1 second, okay? Hold up. Where do I go? Hold up, I done found something. Hold on 1 second. A minute ago. I think this is it right here.
Or do y'all think this is AI? I don't think it's AI at all. Uh-oh.
Okay, y'all.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
What do we have here, y'all? What do we owe? That's Nolan right there, y'all. That's Nolan right there. I'm trying to do it slow for y'all. This one of them breeze by. You know how they do the little boomerang thing on Instagram and all. It's one of those. Y'all, I woke up to a lot this morning. We got a lot of lies being disproved. And we got more video footage, y'all. And I want y'all to let me know. Do y'all think this is real? Or do y'all think this is AI? I don't think it's AI at all. Because when y'all see this, y'all ain't gonna see no 6 fingers and 2 arms and all of that. Everything looks in line. Before we get into it, y'all make sure y'all hit that hype button. Make sure you like the video. And make sure for those that's in the back, stuck in their ways, you never hit no buttons, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Check this out, y'all.
Yes, sister, friend, I will share a longer version. I'm going to add it to this one. But the purpose of this video, I couldn't even sleep last night because I was trying to put A, B, C together. So this picture, the video, on June the 23rd helps in a lot of ways because Warren stated in all of the videos in his interviews that they were a tight-knit group of people. And he also said that there were around 20 to 30 people scattered in those 3 or 4 different boats that they had taken, correct? Okay, so
we seeing this one?
The trip on June the 23rd, per Warren, are a tight-knit group of people, would be the same people that we saw inside this picture.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What do we have here, y'all? What do we owe? That's Nolan right there, y'all. That's Nolan right there. I'm trying
I thought
to
he
do it
wasn't
slow
on the
for y'all.
vote.
This one of them breeze by. You know how they do the little boomerang thing on Instagram and all. It's one of those. Y'all see that? So I want y'all to pay attention to see everybody. I'm gonna see who that is in the front. Y'all see this? That's Nolan. That is Nolan.
The problem is he have different color shorts on, y'all. Look at the shorts.
I'm trying to see who it. So you got all these damn people ain't saying nothing. This is wild. 1, 2, 3. There's somebody right here in the cut. There's somebody right here. Somebody right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's somebody at the front of a driver. 5, 6, 7. Justice for Nolan, man. Let's get it, y'all. Look, 2 right there. Hold on.
So
2
that
up
is
there.
where I'm.
2 up there.
So that is.
Look, 2 up there. Just enjoying the breeze and shit. That's sad, man. Sad, man.
So that is where I'm going with the video because Warren, again, said that they were a tight-knit group of friends. Like there's no outsiders in their circle. And so the same people that are on that video on June the 23rd are the same people that are in that still image on Horns Island, allegedly Horns Island that we see here.
So for those that don't get what she was saying, because I was running my mouth, what she was insinuating is that being as though that they've been implying so much that they're a tight-knit group, tight-knit group, tight-knit group. She showed a video of the tight-knit group with each other. Why the hell the tight-knit group ain't coming out saying nothing? You're tight-knit. Why would Nolan Wells want to go off and venture by himself? And then you had one of the young men say, Nolan always was trying to be with us. Nolan always trying to be on a boat.
If Black people took a white man on a boat expedition and didn't return with him, the president would be making a speech right now. There is a double standard of justice and coverage. But here's why Kevin discusses in a great post about the national news's silence on Nolan Wells. If you Google Nolan Wells New York Times, there is no article. Nolan Wells MSNBC, Nope, they haven't written one. By CNN, all that they have is a TikTok-style video, no written article. And the Washington Post finally has an article only after his body was found. Here's why Kevin references a study that found while Black people make up roughly 35% of missing persons cases in the FBI database at the time of the study, they received only 7 to 11% of media coverage. This is why local news outlets like the Mississippi Free Press that's been reporting on this are so important, and why it's so dangerous that news has been consolidating into these big billionaire-owned corporations, forcing lots of local outlets recently to keep shutting down. You can find the GoFundMe of Nolan's family at the Schmink and My Schmio. And one of the most important things is that families will tell you what they need. Sometimes that's privacy, spreading the word, financial support. We don't want to assume, we want to let them tell us how to help. His mother's request a couple days ago was if you have any pictures or videos that were taken on the northwest tip of Horn Island on July 4th, to reach out to her. This is her Threads account, and you can provide evidence to help their investigation.
This is why we must be our own news. We cannot look for these people to save us, y'all. We cannot look to these people to push out our message and try to get justice for us. They are all connected, y'all. This is why I be telling us, look, we got to do this together, y'all.
How does young men who we don't really have any evidence that committed a crime, how do they get painted as criminals? How do they get painted as being responsible for the death of a person that was considered a friend?
By putting you on the case. For real, that's like someone accused of SA and then turning him Republican. It's pretty much an admission of guilt. For real, why are you even on the case? You're not a cop anymore, Anthony Anderson, who would never be in Blackish. You asked, how do they get painted as criminals? How do you paint them innocent? All you are doing is defending those kids. You're interviewing them. You're pretty much their spokesperson. And just like with Sonia Massey, George Floyd, and everyone else, you're lying about this case. You said those kids took polygraph tests. Now you were checked and proven wrong by Nancy Grace. But here's her interviewing the kid's lawyer.
Have your clients taken polygraphs?
Nancy, my clients have not taken a polygraph test.
Now this guy here is a boy's lawyer. His name is Tyler Cox. Of course it's Tyler Cox. Now what does this lawyer want you to see? Advertisement for his business called Cox and a bottle. The only two things he's advertising, his business and another business. Now, if you zoom in, you'll clearly see it's a bottle of Verdict bourbon. And he's been doing interviews all over, and he always has that bottle of bourbon behind him. Now, here's Brandon Tatum's podcast. What do you see? I see Verdict bourbon, right? Verdict bourbon is owned by Brandon Tatum. What a coincidence! So you don't think it's a conflict of interest for someone to market your product, who's also the lawyer of the white boys that you are protecting and painting innocent? Now I'm positive Brandon Tatum's gonna have a weak ass excuse. Yeah, when I met him, I gave him a bottle because Verdict, he's a lawyer, Verdict, you know. But if the lawyer had any brains at all, he would see how this would look. By the way, defending those kids, Brandon, I wouldn't be surprised if they were drinking Verdict bourbon on the boat. Please threaten to sue me again, Brandon. Let's take this shit to discovery.
I just received this message in my inbox and it says, I was present during the events involving Nolan. Nolan was on the island with a girl while he had his phone. He later returned to his friends and they all sailed back to shore. After that, his phone's location moved back and forth before ending up at Evan's house. As around 1 a.m., Nolan had asked for his phone back after he had been taken. Physical altercation followed. He said they observed Nolan gasping for air and coughing up blood. On July the 5th, search teams did not find Nolan. But based on the timeline and the information available to him, I believe that his body was moved sometime late in the evening of July the 5th or during early hours of July the 6th. They're saying that's exactly why there was nothing found in the initial search for Nolan. They believe that Nolan was unalive between July 5th and either July the 6th. Those final conclusions are their personal beliefs based on them being a witness and knowing. Unfortunately, they weren't on the island to witness or give direct time to the dumping of his body. It's unfortunately being covered up. One of the boys' mom, who is a judge, went to her house and that's where the boat was cleaned because she knows what to use to clear evidence because she is a judge. This is truly, now all of this is alleged, y'all. It's just,
I want y'all to pay close attention to this next video because he's going to expound on something that I've been meaning to talk about, and it's this moving on up mindset that we have in the Black community. When we get a bunch of money or we elevate in life, we feel as though we got to move and be amongst different people and just leave our own community. And he goes on to say that that may be the problem, trying to assimilate with the people that don't even like us, y'all. Check this out.
Allow me to drop a thought. Black parents must come to realize that they may be part of the problem when their kids lose sight of their own cultural heritage and race. Some Black parents love the idea of their Black kid being the only Black kid in a white group. They somehow believe that it's progress and indications of great success when they can claim mostly white friends. There is an inherent danger when our kids grow up with this illusion of inclusion. Now take, for instance, the Nolan Wells case. It should be a warning shot to all Black parents. Stop patting yourself on the back just because you've escaped your own people. At some point, you will realize that all you might have one day are your own people. We have been taught and programmed to not think well of our own race. Therefore, we associate everything good with being white. Now, without any chastisement of the Wells parents, I truly believe that they will search their own souls and parenting styles in regard to their tragic loss. Isolation is isolation. We could not afford to allow our children to isolate themselves in groups that lack other members of their own race. Example.
So the part I want to expound on is when our people get money or whatever, and we feel like we got to disassociate ourselves from our own people. I don't think Nolan Wells' parents did that. I believe Nolan Wells was happy when he was around his own people, like when we see in the TikTok videos. We don't see any TikTok videos of Nolan Wells dancing, doing TikToks, happy and smiling when he's with those white boys. I don't see it, but I don't believe that Miss Christine Wansley and Elmore left the Black community just to be around the white community. I feel as though Nolan was associating himself with people that will not accept him. They would never accept him. And I think it would have been best that he stayed around his people.
We got a governor who comes out immediately during a murder investigation and says, we see no foul play. Some people thought that was suspicious, but it turns out that the governor is actually friends with one of the persons who is suspected of being involved, parents. What does a personal connection, or when does a personal connection become a legal conflict in your opinion?
Right here, right now, we have all the makings of a cover-up.
Boom. Now that, you know what? Now, we are making progress because I stood there the whole time and I said, this is what it is. But you were reluctant to say that. You were extremely reluctant to say that. And I'm gonna tell you, man, for you to come around and hear that evidence to see how things are stacking up, for you to actually change your position, most people will not change their position. They'll stand on that hill. They don't give a damn what evidence is presented. They're gonna stand on that hill. For you to hear this new findings and to be able to say, they're in trouble, it says a lot about your character.
Thank you. Listen, I've always tried to call balls and strikes, right? I've always tried to be objective from a legal standpoint. I always say it again and again, right? This is a problem. This is a problem out the gate. You are on the money, okay? The fact of the matter is too many politicians, too many elected officials are tied way too close to too many potential, if not outright, suspects. That's what you have here. That's as clear as day. Now, what that means, people are going to have different opinions, but the conflict is glaring. This is problematic on a lot of levels for the state, for the county, for these individuals. And the longer they stay voluntarily tied to this investigation, the worse it is for them, because they are held to greater public scrutiny. They're held to higher burdens that we can really dive into their pasts.
There you have it, y'all. We got an attorney who was once on the other side, but then he was man enough to come out after all this stuff we starting to see on the internet. Cito call, these little young men up there lying on podcasts. He like, nah, something fishy. Let me go and come out and let them know I ain't on that side no more. That's a man, somebody who admits when they were in the wrong. But like he said, there are way too many people that are connected with this, people of power. So if one go down, it's going to be a lot of people to go down, because you're going to have some snitches up in there too. How did you figure this out? Who assisted you with this? Oh, it was, we'll reduce your time. We'll let you get out. Oh yeah, it was my mom, and then she called some people, and then those people called some people, and then them people called some people, and next thing you know, that's the bombshell right there, y'all. But y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that snippet of the tight-knit group. Remember, they always come out and say, yeah, we was tight-knit. We don't go nowhere without each other. So we see them on that boat, tight-knit. Ain't nobody saying shit. That is wow. Y'all make sure y'all hype this video. Make sure you continue to press the like button, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.
Good evening. It's the Fit Lawyer ATL, and we are live. I am still in Collin County, Texas. We are finally done with the motion for new trial for Carmelo Anthony, and the judge should have a ruling. He says tomorrow, but I think that's kind of hopeful, but sometime this weekend, but definitely the deadline's Monday. So shout out to everybody that was already in the chat waiting. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I am a 20-year criminal defense attorney in Atlanta, Georgia. Gadsfirm.com is the website. All the information is in the description if you are in Georgia and get arrested for a crime or are involved in a car accident or a slip and fall. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in, y'all. I was a little late because I am just really so full right now. I pray for times like this. I've had my YouTube channel for a couple years now. I can't really get on as often as I would like because I still practice, but I just, this week has been amazing. Meeting so many people, doing a commentary, having so many people on the live, so many people in the comments, so many views. This has been amazing. So thank you everyone who's been tuning in. Thank you for all the love, all the support, all the cash apps y'all have been sending. This has been amazing. I called my mom, who's also my paralegal, when I got out of court today, and I was like, I quit. I'm not coming back. I'm finna go to California to the dirt trial. I love this. Okay, so not for real, so don't look for me, but eventually one day. So y'all pray with me, okay? So that we can make that happen, because this has been amazing. So shout out to the chat. Y'all were here early. Oh, let me update this banner really quickly. How are y'all doing today? Come on into the room. Let me get this banner updated. Okay. All right, everybody's good. You can hear me. Okay. Oh my goodness, 400 in the chat already. Y'all are so, thank you so much. I'm so excited. I see our new member in the house, Nene41. Shout out, sis. All right, let me go through some of the comments. Queen Brielle says, hello, free, what's it? Marcello Jackson, send some hearts. Queen Thomas 8612 says, I just love your commentary. #1 on my list. Thank you so much. Truth Talks Live. Hello, sis, new member, new subscriber. And she's also sharing the live. Thank you so much, sis. So y'all stay tuned because I'm going to be doing some stuff with Truth Talks Live very, very soon. And she's all the way in Vegas. I love that. Thank you so much. Shout out to Bravo Beat 7983 says, anybody need a seat? I know that's right. Get your seat. Popcorn, all of that stuff. I wish we had the ruling. Is coming. It's coming. So we should have it any minute. The judge said tomorrow. So we'll see. I've got on the list to get the emails ordered, the orders emailed, and they also put them on the Carmelo Anthony special website that Collin County has. So we'll know. So stay tuned because as soon as this order comes down, we'll do it live so we can talk about what the judge said.
I do apologize, you guys. I had walked away from the computer or whatnot.
Is all right. RN 999 says, hey everyone, let's go. Just days after the verdict. Okay, so there was no arguments here that Judge Roach was biased during the trial or anything like that, or that he violated any judicial canons or anything during the trial. The issues only came because he spoke in the public about a matter that was still pending before him 2 days after the verdict. Okay, so that is why they filed the motion to recuse. Judge Sid Hall came over from San Antonio, Texas to hear that motion, and he granted that motion. I mean, Wednesday's court hearing was like 1 hour and 20 minutes long. It wasn't long at all. The only evidence was the video played, and then just.
Well, do y'all think this is AI?
I'm sorry.
I don't think it's AI at all. Because when y'all see this, y'all ain't gonna see.
Sorry about that, y'all. Let's see what she got.
Tonight, the Nolan Wells investigation into the death of a shining star, Nolan Wells, has an altercation witness emerged. A witness that claims she saw an altercation at Horn Island.
This white woman right here is claiming that she was one of the last people who saw Nolan. And when she saw Nolan, he was involved in an altercation with somebody who, in her words, is going to go to jail based on what she witnessed. Now, somehow, some way, and a lot of you guys probably already suspect this, somehow, some way, Officer Tatum is involved somewhere in this equation, in which you will find out at some point in this video.
Sam here with a Nolan Xavier Wells update and some more mysterious letters that I'm reading to you. Again, I don't know if these are real, but I think it's important to share them. After others were forced to leave, the last few were trying to help, but they made them leave. Nolan had already taken his last gasps and was gargling blood. His last words were, "No, please, guys, I love you." Key notes: when Nolan yelled, that's when Evan's mom came down. Nolan's body was still warm when they started moving it to be stored. Nolan survived most of the attack. Ultimately, murder was intentional. He yelled, but barely. He saw his moments and memories flash, but his last memory was with his parents after winning a game, and he was happy and he was ready for the next season. Maybe memories was from his last game of his first year of college. Again, I don't know how this letter could possibly know what his last memory was. So again, we have to take it with a grain of salt. Nolan wanted nothing more than to have peace, even when it wasn't always reciprocated in certain instances. Wyatt was the primary aggressor, encouraging booze and drugs and hyping the others up to single out Nolan. Nolan had some sort of fun, but they left earlier than planned due to the boat having some sort of jerk or throttle issue happening while on the island. The boys planned to leave Nolan. He left the girl. He did spend a little time with her there. Wyatt and Warren were jealous, taunting that they would leave him, and made him swim not too far to the boat. They wanted him to swim through the current, dared him to, and Nolan waited for something current to pass and then swam to the boat approximately at 3:45 p.m. Around 4:30, they had already started to head back, took a few convincing photos that Nolan was failure to it, but did anyways. Again, this is very hard to read. I can't confirm any of this, guys. This is all strong on the ledge of allegedly. But again, these letters are out there, so I thought it was important to read it. Again, some of this writing looks like it could be a female because they've hearted a few things. I just want to put this out there. I have forwarded all these letters to Ben Crump and his attorneys just in case there is anything real to this. But again, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. This is just, in my opinion, something that is interesting to share. Secret Service Sam out, Samson for president of the world.
So many questions concerning the case of Nolan, more especially about this mysterious message. Who sent it? Does it have anything to do with the death of Nolan Wells? Why would witnesses not coming forward? Viewers have been dropping their opinions, saying something about this case just doesn't add up. Why would Nolan stay behind without his phone or keys? His friends definitely know more than they're saying. Others believe it could simply have been a tragic accident, while others are questioning the timeline, the deleted messages, and what really happened during Nolan's final hours. But with so many theories spreading online, what do you think happened to Nolan Wells? Let's watch some more messages that were been sent by unknown witnesses.
This white woman right here is claiming that she was one of the last people who saw Nolan. And when she saw Nolan, he was involved in an altercation with somebody who, in her words, is going to go to jail based on what she witnessed. Now, somehow, some way, and a lot of you guys probably already suspect this, somehow, some way, Officer Tatum is involved somewhere in this equation, in which you will find out at some point in this video. But here is what she has to say. Now, her page is on private, so we only have people reading what she said on her page. So this is what she had to say in terms of, the last sighting of Nolan. Now, apparently, she didn't just see Nolan by herself. It was her and her husband who witnessed this.
I have not spoken publicly about this before, but I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterward. Everything beyond what I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred.
You know what, you guys? They keep saying Nolan and other people. Were the other people fighting Nolan? What was the deal? Like, what did you see? Like, what, like, why y'all keep saying Nolan fighting with other people? Nolan and other people fighting. Were the other people fighting Nolan? I'm kind of getting agitated on all this shit, right? I'm kind of getting agitated. They're showing pictures. They're showing this. They're showing that. At the end of the day, you guys, they have footage because you know why? That island is full of fucking cameras everywhere. From you docking the boats and everything else. There footage everywhere. So not just Nolan Mama sent out subpoenas to all the people that keep putting out information. And I know she got pissed because they put text messages out on his birthday. They put the district attorney put a letter out just as well. So now they bringing out subpoenas, asking for all information of everything that took place today, which they should. This should have been happening a long time ago. I think they were probably waiting until after the birthday to start putting their feet on these people's neck. That the Black Caucus, the NWSCP, everybody's involved. They're not going to be able to get rid of this. It's just not. I don't know who's going to take allege. No, it's not allege. Who's going to take the fall for it? At the end of the day, no one leaves no one nowhere. And we just left them there. And you had all those people and not one person say, I'm going to bring this person back. Let them use their phone. You had all those phones on the island too. So why wouldn't he not? Y'all got to think about it. Why would he not just say, can I use your phone to contact my mom or something like that? He would have contacted his mom if you left him and he didn't have a ride back. So it's either whoever brought him back did not bring him back intact, right? Or someone did something to him. And I don't care what nobody say. I don't know who did it, but I think it's behind a girl. It's a person with barbarian behavior, upset because a black man, and get mad because a black man was being attracted by a certain caliber of a white woman. There's no other way. There's no other reason why a person would want to hurt somebody. Like, okay, y'all went out there, all you guys were cool, right? That's what you say. Like your brother. He wouldn't have been like my brother. He's my brother. So, I mean, like I say, we probably have two different cultures here. You may speak in those terms, but terminology for us, we speak a little different. However, I'm looking at his memorial, right? Where are the Caucasian people at? I'm trying to understand. We have to, y'all. We have to figure this out. Something is wrong with this, you guys. We got all this like, oh, well, we just left them there. People had phones, even if someone couldn't bring him back, right? There's no effing way that him as a human being want to ask, well, can I use your phone? Or can I use, it's so many people out there. Everybody's not out there racist. You know what I mean? This boy was not left. And ain't nobody going to make me think he was left. If he was left, who the hell he went with? That's what you trying to make us speculate. Well, who else he could have went with? Because no one else is talking. They had a fight. Who y'all had a fight with? Because if I had a fight with someone, the other party will be talking. There was not a fight with no one else. It probably was a fight amongst everybody. And it was behind a girl. What girl? I don't know. It was a girl. All this lying, let me tell you something. They could play this game under this administration. This administration is almost over. I grant you. It might not be this year, might be next year, but I grant you, they will find out who killed this boy. Y'all could get ready. You could prolong it till you get older in age, but you're going to jail. You're going to go. Because I don't even understand why the administrator is not even talking about it. They speak on everything. This case is too big for no one to be even, you don't even hear the Democratic Party, Republican Party speaking out on this, y'all. None of them are speaking out. They speak on everything else. But you know what they're doing? Being quiet. Because it's close to getting elected. Y'all got to get y'allself together in these little hick towns. Y'all got to get these bootlickers. Y'all got to exile them. Start exiling them. I am a Republican, but I don't play about my peoples. I don't care. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Y'all trying to convince us that we should be calling people racist and we can't use this for that. They use everything in the book for us. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. A person came to my house. You know, I forgot the name of the people because I can't even say it because I'm so angry. And they came to a controller, whatever, was trying to serve some people since last year, knocking on my door. I came to the door. I said, you damn near the 7th of 8 person that came to my damn house. Why are you coming to my house? Stop knocking on my door. This motherfucker knocked back on my door like saying, fuck me. I called the police. This Spanish, no, she's not Spanish. I think she was, I'm gonna put the video up. I'm gonna put the video up because I'm gonna show you what took place. I said I want him trespass. Well, he's not here for me to trespass. You have his fucking number. You call him and tell him that I do not want him back at my home. Well, I'm gonna call him. No, I want to know who keeps sending them out here so I can go at the company because they've been coming here since I closed on this townhouse. And I'm tired of it. And I say for me to shut my door, he to knock back on my door, he's telling me, fuck me, right? She was she wasn't Mexican. She was Spanish, I believe, right? Cocky little bitch. Cocky little bitch. You understand? Told me if I call a white, I say, ma'am, I would like to have a white shirt out. I have a white shirt. I said the white shirt above you. Well, I'm not calling the supervisor out. So guess what I'm doing that bitch? And yeah, it's gonna go out. Guess what I'm doing her, right? I done went to the attorney fairs because guess what? You you violated my constitution rights at this point. You understand? And I went down, as a paralegal, I had to go look up certain things, right? To understand exactly what violations took place. I'm going after that bitch fucking license. You understand? Because if she done it to me, she done it to some fucking body else. These people, y'all keep letting these people tell y'all that y'all cannot say these motherfuckers are racist. Not all of them are, but there's a lot of them. And I'm going to tell you, it's not even white people. It's a lot of Spanish people, like people who come here to work to get better lives. They're racist as fuck. The brown people, I'm talking about them. I'm talking about them. This bitch told me, and I'm saying it, which I said, I dare you. I dare you. Told me she was a supervisor. You don't have enough stripes on your on your shirt to tell me you're a supervisor. You ain't no damn supervisor. And so you're telling me you're refusing? Yes. So guess what I'm going to do? You're going to violate the blue collar law? Let's go with it. Let's go with it. We got to stop letting these, listen, arguing about shit ain't going to get you nowhere. Okay? Even if these people don't do anything about it, you got other remedies to force this shit. Y'all, they have so many laws, right? So many laws to oversee shit that these people do. Yeah, Monday morning, I'm asking and requesting from the clerk of court her fucking license, her bonding license information, and I'm going to sue the fuck out of her. Enough is enough. And y'all, I did nothing other than be in my home, not open my door, still agitated at this point. Sir, y'all stop coming to my house. This person don't live here. When the second person came, I told him that this person don't live here. Nice enough to show him my closing information on the home. They still said, this man, I closed my door. He knocked back on my door, being sarcastic. So, bitch, I'm the wrong one to play with when it come down to disrespect. Okay? Let me tell you something. Black people we prefer someone respecting us than a dollar bill. Okay? That has to change. We go around, these people been taking us to court for the last couple of years, chopping down any protection that we have, but they haven't went to court behind the Asian Act, the Asian laws, and every law it is for everybody but Black Americans here. And I'm sick of it. Mississippi need to be abolished. Mississippi steal stuff from Louisiana, like the barcock of the bus. It never happened there first. It happened in Louisiana, Mount Zion. Everything happened in Louisiana, and they adopted. They ran to Mississippi. No, the fuck you didn't. If y'all look up in the archives, the Maroons, the Creole, and then they turned it to the Maroons. They created a 250,000 army that came back and fought and took over every place from Baton Rouge on down that's not Florida. They conquered it with a fucking flag. History is deep, y'all. Everybody around here, we this. All the people, oh, well, we got our independence. We fought back. They're lying. Louisiana is not talked about because they supposed to keep their sovereignty, right? When they made an agreement with the United States, everybody keeps saying this shit. Y'all, we had Black leaders up to close to the time when Martin Luther King now made an agreement to go into the United States. No one took nothing. They agreed to go into the corporation of the United States, but we were supposed to keep our sovereignty, be able to walk the land in peace, because it's our fucking land. The indigenous people that's on the reservations, those are Alaskan people. When they purchased it from, go look it up, they purchased it from Russia. They kept their sovereignty to the land. They stripped us, they gave it to them, and made like this is their land. It is not. It is not. They were indigenous to their area. They became indigenous in the Americas because they were purchased, and they allowed them to keep their sovereignty, because guess who fought for it? They fought for it. Black Americans didn't, because our leaders told us not to fucking fight for it. Just chill. Give up your businesses. Give up your millions. We're gonna work together in this brotherhood shit. Yo, that first that what's that girl name? You know the girl they said the first black girl was integrated in schools with whites? That's not true either. Go look it the fuck up. Integration been going on. None of that stuff is true. They do stuff to brainwash us. We were paper genocide, y'all. What are you gonna do? We have millions of black people, black Americans here. Millions of them. We have some bootlickers and all. But however, we are our own destruction. This is nobody's fault but ours. Now nobody. Look up Naba. She's the creator of all gods. This planet doesn't belong to nobody. We were all placed in here because a male was created and he tried to fight her. he tried to fight the divine energy of feminists. You think the white man is your enemy? He is not. It's the man that you lay with every night that want to treat you like the slave master. And listen, I love black men because I have 2 black sons. But I'm being truthful. If y'all go look this stuff up, you're going to believe what I'm saying. Look at the tablets. The archives and the tablets together will make sense to you. You have to go read it for yourself. Don't let nobody tell you nothing. Don't let me tell you nothing. Let me tell you something. Everybody have their own code. Everybody have their own way of how they're supposed to be surviving in this room. It's up to you. We could talk about the Nolan case too. We're blue in the face, right? But what's next? How do we take whatever pain you think that caused us? How do we take that pain and move the fuck on and make better for us? I need those answers. How do we move forward? Okay. Y'all can't talk past the fucking 60s and 70s on bad shit. You can't. We were never slaves. It's bullshit. It was only like 200 and something Africans came over here. The fuck? Go look it up. The rest of us been here. And I'm going to tell you, no one came in, but we did have people that descended out of our country. We have family all around this motherfucking globe. They play with you with numbers and try to make you less than the numbers. You're not. Y'all say this, but y'all still letting another person that don't look like you tell you your story or tell you the story for you to believe it. Enough is enough. What are you going to keep going on? Dying off, believing that this, believing in the mustard seed, believing in this, believing in that? Come on, bro. You're gonna die off. Then you're gonna left the bullshit to your children. Then they're gonna teach your children something else. Then it's gonna take years again for us to get back here again where we understand we're not slaves. We were never slaves. Just think about it. How the fuck do you let a slave decide if they're gonna go into a fucking reservation or not? So we're gonna just call them black. If we were so oppressed back then, the actually girl that got discriminated, quote unquote, against, that wrote the girl, the bus shit that what happened in Mississippi, she went to the Supreme Court and won. So how the hell we were so oppressed? We're oppressed with words. Y'all, I'm telling you, y'all think like the legal system is just for one person. It is not. You have to know what to do and how to do it and learn to watch your fucking mouth. Your mouth is your own destruction of things. So next week, she thinks like she got away with something. She's finna get a rude awakening. You damn right. That girl remind me of that little Spanish girl that was on there saying she hate black people. She loved to arrest them MFers and all that. She looked just like her. Absolutely. Just like her. They wouldn't let me speak with a supervisor. A supervisor wouldn't even come, call me back. They wouldn't do nothing. I'm finna find out who's all the supervisors. I'm finna find out who's everybody. Because guess what? They would not have that culture if it was not permitted. You understand? Everybody is going to have to answer. I don't give a damn. I'm tired. The woman, again, they've been taking us to court to strip everything, and know what we do on this internet? All we do is cry about it. All we do is cry about it. We don't go file motions and grievances like these people. If you don't fight back, we got leaders, we got all these people holler about their this and their that, and they go out and want to go on the internet. Oh, I got this bitch. Oh, I got her job. No, we don't need to get her job. We need to make sure nobody else get a job that's like her. Our civil rights, whatever you want to call it, just like our sovereignty, got stripped from us when we were supposed to be able to keep it. We got all these NWCP and the Black Caucus, all these people, they know this stuff. But do they fight for it? No. They want you to stay here. Everything is on us. Look how we taking care of our community right now. We're fussing about Nolan. We're fussing about Carmelo Anthony. Then they talked about him, right? Oh, he said this on the phone, whatever. So fucking what? We don't know the context behind that. Then the shit was like 2 years ago. Has no reflection on what took place that fucking day. Then we got what a boy said, kill that MFer. Them boys should have been expelled from anybody's school. 10 years old, you break a black girl's fucking collarbone? Now the news want to talk about it. When they parade these little white boys around, they parade them around trying to get sympathy. They wanted to publicly convict you first. These outlets, we have to start doing something to stop these outlets from, they seeking us out. Yeah. They're a part of the public. They have accountability too on what they put out too. We sit around all day, all on the internet. I'm indigenous to the land. I'm this, I'm that. Prove it to me. Show me that you are. Prove me whatever you saying. We are diverse. Ain't shit we could do about it. But what we can do, you're going to have to respect me like you respect every fucking body else. We go around all day, I'm this. I'm an Indian. I'm this. Indians, the name Indian comes from the new construction of America. You ain't no fucking Indians. Anybody that was a freeman, you know what they put them under? The Cherokee Nation. So anything else ain't shit. Anybody they turned into a freeman was put under the Cherokee Nation because they had nowhere to go because they took the sovereignty from them. Well, I'm Blackfoot. Go see when Blackfoot was created. I'm this, I'm that. Go see when it was created. There were nations. Nobody was called that shit. They adopt new names to erase the old so you can't find yourself. But y'all, let me tell you something. I have an education system that I done put together from K to 12 that we have to start educating our own. I have a genealogy company just got approved We have to work with people. We have to work with everybody. Everybody's on this land. They ain't going no fucking where. We're in a firmament. We're in the middle of an ocean. Ain't shit we could do to get out of this shit until we start reading for ourselves to understand how we got in here for us to get out of here. You think you're going to die and be reincarnated? You are such a fool. Our bodies are designed to be here a very long time beyond our lifespans that we are in now. But guess what? We let America decide to give us all this toxic stuff. And guess what? We love half of it because it tastes good. But is it good for your body when you get to a certain age? It's ironic. And yeah, I know we're supposed to be talking about Nolan, but we have a lot of Nolans the fuck out here. I want to start taking, as a paralegal, I want to start, right? Having interviews, bringing people out. We have all these people in our cities that were supposed to be, what you call those? Oh God, what do you call those people? I can't even think of the damn name right now. It'll come to my mind. But you have these people that have these organizations, right? That's in your state. See, when you go to them and they tell you they cannot help you, you need to start reporting they fucking ass. Let me tell you something. I felt so yesterday, like my back was against the wall yesterday. I felt so alone yesterday when this hoe told me, and I'm saying exactly what I want to say, told me she could not do nothing. Unfortunately, this. I said, yeah, you have other remedies, baby. If someone comes to my home and I told them to leave, that's just like me going to Walmart. You find me down the street, you trespass my ass. Y'all do it for when it is convenient for the moment. You will arrest my ass if I make your ass mad. You'll do that. Okay, okay. This is how we're gonna play. I said, okay, ma'am. I said, we gonna play it like this. Let's see. Because I'm going after her license. I'm going after her needing not to have a job. Her refusing me as a citizen of my due process, of my rights, and everything else. Absolutely. I called you to my home, had someone came, I explained to them, talking about what that person, I don't give a fuck whoever fucking keeps sending them. That's why I took his license plate so I can find out everything. It's your job to help investigate, baby. I told them to go, not come. This motherfucker come back and knock on my door like it's his, and you say you don't have, you can't participate. Okay, let's see. It's time to strip a lot of them doing whatever the fuck they want to do when they want to fucking do it. We have too many fucking agencies, y'all. We have the city police, we have the sheriffs, we have this ICE shit. We have so much shit that they have created to oppress every fucking body in this country. Every fucking body in this country. You know what I mean? We have too much going on, and guess who suffer? Us. We pay taxes on every fucking thing we're doing. Then you hit us at the end of the year. This is enough. It's time. It's time. Like I said, I don't know what all I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna pray to within me, and I'm gonna follow me, and whatever it leads to, it leads to. They want to scare you and intimidate you with this and that. I'm sick of it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm sick of it. And we're gonna get back to Nolan.
After I left. Then she said she messaged one of the individuals that she saw, hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and I saw the argument between you guys, and we'll go to the police with this information.
Y'all, these people are lying. And I'm going to tell you why I know they're lying. Because they want to keep y'all off track from that phone call that we fucking heard. They're going to keep putting pictures. They're going to keep talking about this person said this person said that. Y'all, it's a game. Y'all better learn to look through the game that they're playing. They're playing a game with us. I'm just sorry they're playing a game. You could not like what I'm saying, but they're playing a effing game with us. They're playing a game with us. Y'all please like, share. I'm going to get off in a little bit because I got to go take care of some business or whatever. But please like and share.
Also have video footage. My husband doesn't show much, but it shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady.
I don't know if they ever turned over the videos that they have to the police. I don't know if they ever gave a statement to the police, but that post is being read directly from their TikTok by Secret Service in. And the reason why we don't know if they've ever turned over information, if they ever spoke to the police, if the police have ever followed up on this, because the DA and the prosecutors don't speak to you unless you are an attorney for one of the boys. Okay? All right. Even the family can't get information from out these people, but somehow Bart's attorney had all the information in regards to Nolan Wells' autopsy before the parents had it and Chris Cuomo had it. Like ain't that odd? These information is supposed to be secret and sealed, but somehow these folks have all the information before anybody else do, but they quote unquote ain't speaking, right? Cool. So we don't know. But what I can say is be very careful, okay, about somebody's initial reaction to this. If somebody's initial reaction to this is what you're about to hear, they're very sus, right? They are very, very sketchy, okay? Now, after you hear this, there's another factor that gets really deeper. Officer Tatum and his reaction to this tells me everything I need to know about this. Tatum's reaction to this should tell us everything we need to know about this, but we'll get there towards the end of this video.
Formerly in the public defender's office, they try a ton of cases. Philip, first of all, has she turned it into police? She said she was. If she hasn't, I give her no credibility at all. Look, I want this to be true. Why? Because I want the video. I want to see the timestamp on the video. I want to see, was he still on Horn Island at 4:30 when his acquaintances on the Triton boat left? I want that video. And if she hasn't brought this forward to LE, law enforcement, then it means nothing to me. I mean, if I know a young man turns up dead in the water, and I know there's a controversy surrounding this, I mean, we know she knows that because she's gone online and posted it, then why not hand it over to police?
Agreed. And it should go to the grand jury for part of their investigation. But I got to tell you, if I were cross-examining her, should this even go to trial, the first question I'd ask her on that 4th of July, what she had been drinking. Before that video got activated, everybody would want to
put him up.
Drinking and smoking. You know how many people were partying?
Okay, man. Have you lost your mind?
When I tell y'all we're in this fight by ourselves, we're in this fight by ourselves, bro. None of these people want to see justice. None of them. When it comes to this situation, in this case, specifically this case, these people act like they don't have common sense. These people all of a sudden lose all rationality. They lose all common sense. This man, right, who is an actual attorney, is hearing a woman say, yo, I see Nolan Wells have an altercation with somebody shortly before his disappearance. And he says, well, was she drunk? Was she drinking? Excuse me? How? What? Now, shout out to Nancy Grace, because Nancy Grace she shut this conversation down shortly after this. Like, she shut this conversation down. She said, I'm good, bro. Like, you straight, like, you could go. And she redirected her focus to Tatum. Now, what Tatum had to say about this was the most interesting. What Tatum had to say about this left me floored, left my mouth, my jaw, everything on the floor. I couldn't believe what I was hearing Tatum say.
Brandon Tatum is joining us. So after all that, all you have to say is, was she drinking? That's your takeaway from that? Joining me is Brandon Tatum, former police officer, Tucson, now star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube, who famously has interviewed the acquaintances who all say they had nothing to do with it. Let's just put that out there. He's interviewed them extensively. I want to talk about not what you want to talk about, Brandon Tatum, which is they had nothing to do with this because I met them and I believe them. So noted. Can we talk about a potential witness to an altercation? And she seems to suggest it was over Katie. Why? Don't know what the altercation was. Maybe it was, hey, leave her alone and get on the boat, or leave her alone. She's my girlfriend, or it could be anything. But if there is a witness placing Nolan seemingly in the water, I can't tell that, but having an argument with another person, a partier at Horn Island, that is significant. It could prove or disprove your friend's timeline.
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. No.
Tatum, what? Tatum, hell ain't hot enough for you, bro. Hell ain't hot enough for you, bro. You've never heard about this altercation before, Tatum? You mean wait, hold on, Tatum. No, I didn't hear that right. Play that. Nah. He didn't say that.
Your friend's timeline.
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. Nobody that I've talked to have alluded that this altercation was real.
These people lie so much they can't even keep up with their own lies anymore. They tell so many lies they can't keep up anymore. But I fear this lie that Tatum is currently telling is the most nefarious lie of them all. I fear there's some truth to what we just heard. And Tatum is trying to cover up for it. And here's why. You see, Tatum told Nancy Grace after he heard the story that he never heard about this altercation. Nobody he had any contact with has ever mentioned this altercation before. But this was Tatum approximately 3 weeks ago on his channel talking about this very same altercation. Isn't this you, Tatum?
I received a DM from someone DMing another person. Now, I'm trying to leave these names out because I want to not mess this investigation up. I think law enforcement already have this. That alluded to the fact that, and I messaged this person because I want to talk directly to the person that I saw the DM from. And we haven't talked to this person yet. But the person said in the DM to another kid that is associated, not any of the kids that I interviewed to talk to, but that could be associated to some degree, that knew Nolan, that this person wrote a message saying, me and my husband saw you arguing with Nolan, and to the effect of you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. Now, the person did not say they saw a physical altercation. The person did not say what time they saw Nolan and this other person getting into an argument. Now, this is after Warren, their boat left. This may be somewhere around a little bit before 6. What I'm thinking at this point, with all that has been said, is that somebody knows exactly what happened to Nolan, or they saw him right before he died. I am not convinced that Nolan was just out there and drowned.
Tatum was so convinced by that DM that Nolan had an altercation back and forth with somebody that he even went out on a limb to say he believed that somebody knows what happened to Nolan, somebody watched Nolan die, and he don't believe that Nolan drowned. Now, all of a sudden, after Tatum became buddies with the boys' lawyers, after the boy lawyers started to promote Tatum's bourbon and his liquor in all of their interviews, after they essentially got a partnership with Tatum, now all of a sudden, Tatum don't remember ever hearing about this altercation, but that ain't the only lie Tatum got caught in. No. In the last 24 hours, it got exposed. Damn near all of Officer Tatum, quote unquote, sources were all lies. he either made it up himself or he's lying about everything he once knew because he realized those things now implicate his friends and his homies. Allegedly, I don't know. Okay. So that man just explained the exact altercation that person is describing. Nancy Grace asked him about the same altercation he already talked about 3 weeks ago. Now, all of a sudden, he has no idea what's going on. He never heard of it. This man needs to be investigated, bro. Tatum needs to be investigated. They need to bring Tatum to the altar, bro. Because you can't keep getting away with this.
And also Katie, whom I saw her text messages, she didn't even say this altercation occurred. What I will say is that if I was an investigator in this investigation, I want to hear that. I want to be able to compare that information to other things that we may have or other witness statements. But I don't think it's significant because it doesn't show if Nolan Wells was actually killed in that altercation. She's claiming that there was an altercation between him arguing with somebody else. There was a potential fight, but that doesn't get me to how did he drown? How did he get in the water? And how did he not recover and come home to his family? So I would take that into consideration. I would compare that to the other interviews that I've done, but I don't think it's significant whatsoever. However, I would be incredibly skeptical because there's no other statements that I've heard from anybody that comes even close to an altercation with Nolan Wells and others over a girl.
Number one, he's dead shortly after an alleged altercation with another male. We think over a woman. See, in my world, I put together both circumstantial and direct evidence. Direct evidence would be, for instance, DNA or a fingerprint. Circumstantial evidence is the timing of the alleged altercation and his death. Right?
Nancy,
so
but Nancy,
it's hard for me to believe that there's some kind of altercation on Horn Island just before he dies. And they were not connected. That's hard for me to believe that.
Well, Nancy, she's not saying he lost the fight. She's not saying that he got beat up. If you look at the autopsy, there's no clear signs of blunt force trauma to his face or any of the vital areas that could kill him. So it doesn't appear that there's any indication that he lost a fight, that there was enough trauma in this particular.
You see how Tatum has went from, hey, I was told this, and I'll be real, man. Hey, bro, like they're credible. And you know, listen, man, I now believe I don't think he just drowned. I think somebody watched him die. Then shouldn't you still have that exact same thing? It's only been 3 weeks. Shouldn't you still think the exact same thing? Shouldn't you still believe what you said 3 weeks ago, which is, again, Tatum's exact word was, even if they didn't get into a physical altercation, I still believe somebody seen what happened, somebody watched Nolan die, somebody knows what happens. Then wouldn't this person be crucial and pivotal in figuring that out? Why is Tatum all of a sudden going against and attacking the very same information and evidence that he broke? Tatum was the first one to release this information 3 weeks ago. But now he's going against it. Now he's fighting against it. Now he's doing everything in his power to try to underplay it. Why? That's interesting. The only thing I could point to is, man, them boys got Verdict Bourbon in a background. When they do interviews now, they promoting your bourbon for you. So now all of a sudden, you don't want to concede an inch that could, make people look bad. That's odd, Tatum. That's very odd. Very odd here. See, this is not the only lie Tatum got caught up in. Y'all remember when Tatum came on his channel and he claimed that a source that was very credible, a source that's been 150% accurate, they told him that Nolan Wells was on coke on the island. Y'all remember? I'm sure you guys do. Y'all remember that? Well, guess what? This was also a lie.
But what I was told, and you guys, please take in consideration that it's reliable sources. However, the only way to prove the truth in this is if I see it with my own eyes, if the law enforcement have the investigation of this, and also when the toxicology results come out. But people are messaging me and telling me that there is heavy drinking and there's cocaine involved. And there's a particular person whom I know this person's name. I'm not going to disclose it. I'm going to go to the police first, and then I will disclose it if it doesn't interfere in the investigation. But this person allegedly was offering people cocaine, and someone close to Nolan, one of his friends, told me that this person was offered cocaine and rejected it from this person. And I was also told, and this person told me that it's over 100% chance that Nolan was using cocaine during this period of time. This person said it was 150% sure that when the toxicology comes back, that Nolan will have cocaine in his system. Now,
150% if the toxicology come back, Nolan will have coke in his system. Now, here's the thing. Tatum said he was going to go to the police. We haven't heard any update on Tatum telling the police this information. So Tatum potentially knew of a potential drug dealer who could have given Nolan drugs that could have contributed to his death, and Tatum never went to the police, never told him anything. All right. And again, according to him, his source is the most reliable. Bro, he was damn near saying this is true. Like, yo, but once you reiterate, oh, this source have never told me bad information. This source have been accurate 1,000%. They've told me 150% Nolan gonna have coke in his system. Well, according to Nancy Grace and other experts, the toxicology is apparently back. And you know what's not in his system?
Stores in West Hollywood where they keep a line out, and then people come out, then you can go in and go
Yeah,
shop.
because I think they were at max capacity.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
there
it
was a lot of people.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit about like the protest happening outside. I was watching your live for a little bit. You had your kids. I thought it was sweet how you said, to the kids, like, you might not understand what you're doing right now or why you're here kind of thing, but you will once you're older. And that really reminded me during the pandemic, we got invited to by Donnell Rawlings to go to Dave Chappelle's summer camp in Yellow Springs, Ohio. And my son, my oldest, was, I was taking him to shows to see like Jon Stewart, Michelle Wolf, Talib Kweli, all these different Common, all these rappers. And now he's like, oh my God, Dad, I can't believe we were there. I should have, so I totally relate to that. But like, just tell us a little bit. Yeah. And tell us a little bit about what was going on outside and what people were doing.
Okay. So there was, protesting. And then they had a bike rally come through. That was really cool. So they were on the opposite side of the street set up. That was really, really nice. Kelvin was there. And then there was some other people that came from long distances. It was just really, really cool. It was nice. It was a good vibe. There was no, I think I saw one police officer parked off in the distance, but there wasn't really like any major security, Oh, they had, so if you weren't registered to vote, they had people there to register you. I agree. They don't really understand the realm of the scare around the situation. I know a lot of these people personally. Definitely, they know my family. My family works right alongside these people. So it's it can become a very hostile situation for me.
Yeah. And has it become a hostile situation at all?
Sorry, boring. Let's see what they got going on. Why they always have stuff 2 months, 3 months? Let's see this don't 7 years ago. I don't know. Like, what's going on with YouTube? Let me see if he got a live. He did stuff on live. Okay. Oh, that's the McKell. Hold on 1 second. All right, let's go see what's going on, you guys.
What you say about my brother? Say it again. Okay.
Oh Lord, I'm sorry, y'all. True crime.
Did ChatGPT just help me figure this case out? Let me show you something. Do not scroll away. I had ChatGPT design this diagram below. And what the diagram shows you is the void between these 4 people right here. You see, all 5 people. There's a void. Everybody's avoiding something on the floor right there. Why are they not? That's the largest space on the entire boat. Why is nobody standing in the biggest area of the boat? Why is everybody off to the side? If you look at the diagram, the red part shows Nolan's body. And if you look at the dude in the back, in the orange, I asked Google to tell me where that bilge pump is. And that's what he's doing in the back. He's over there messing with that bilge pump. And Wyatt right here is on the phone. Now listen to what I learned. Now, when Wyatt was on that phone call with the CETO company on the stress call, he says that the lady asked him, what is your GPS coordinates? Wyatt says, let me go look. So he had to have been over here with all the commotion going on while he's over here messing with that bilge pump. Wyatt was over here and he left from over here to go over here to check the coordinates. As you can see, he's on the phone right there where the coordinates is. And if you look at the diagram, you can literally see where Nolan's body could possibly be in this picture where you can't see it. Because I had them tell me what all of this means, what the space is called, and everything. So that space definitely can hold Nolan's body. And as you can see here, what the fuck are they avoiding? Why are they not standing right there? They're avoiding something. There's a whole void in between all these people. And that diagram shows you what's really going on in this picture.
Nolan Wells' case seems to be taking a backwards paddle. That's right. All of a sudden, a new witness have come forward. And what she had to say takes us back to the beginning. And we're about to get into it. But before we get into it, I need you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that you're alerted the next time I upload a new video. Remember, we talked about Katie in the beginning. This witness is bringing information that just may blow your mind. Let's talk about it. In the beginning of the Nolan Wells case, Warren sat down with Officer Tatum and stated that Nolan stayed back on the island with Katie. Then later on, more information came out stating that there was an altercation on the island, but the boys swore that that was not Nolan. Now we have a witness coming out and stating that she saw Nolan Wells get into an altercation over his phone on the island. Thanks to Secret Service Sam, he gave us an update regarding this. Take a look at this clip.
I have not spoken publicly about this before, but I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterward. Everything beyond what I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred after I left. Then she said she messaged one of the individuals that she saw, hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and I saw the argument between you guys and we'll go to the police with this information. I also have video footage. My husband doesn't show much, but it shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady.
Could this account be correct and accurate? That's what we need to find out. But remember, we had the attorney make a statement and say that someone saw Nolan Wells in an altercation at approximately 6 p.m. and that was after the boys had left. Now, the timeline on this altercation that the new witness is stating, or is this one of the witnesses? We don't know the timeline because she didn't give it in this quote unquote confession, I want to say. But nevertheless, they wanted to say Nolan Wells wasn't involved in that altercation. However, we had other statements come out and said Nolan Wells was involved and it was over the phone and it was regarding Katie. And all of a sudden, Katie disappeared. Now we have lion-ass Brandon Tatum sitting down with Nancy Grace, giving a whole different account. This man is going to hell with gasoline draws on. But listen to what he had to say on Nancy Grace yesterday.
Partier at Horn Island, that is significant. It could prove or disprove your friend's timeline.
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. Nobody that I've talked to have alluded that this altercation was real. And also Katie, whom I saw her text messages, she didn't even say this altercation occurred. What I will say is that if I was an investigator in this investigation, I want to hear that. I want to be able to compare that information to other things that we may have or other witness statements. But I don't think it's significant because it doesn't show if Nolan Wells was actually killed in that altercation. She's claiming that there was an altercation between him arguing with somebody else. There was a potential fight, but that doesn't get me to how did he drown? How did he get in the water? And how did he not recover and come home?
A job just came in, right? That I got to go help a client with something. I do apologize, you guys. I will be back on later on tonight, perhaps, or Sunday night, whatever, if I have time. So you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support that you give. I will be back on later on.
Looking for a K-12 education that goes beyond the textbook, right from the comfort of home? Welcome to a new standard of online learning.
Beyond general education, our students dive into specialized virtual labs for real-world job readiness. Genealogy lab, historical lab, civil law, and our media and public speaking lab.
We prepare global citizens with immersive Spanish and French language tracks. And because we're proudly Florida-based and Step Up certified, families can access the elite education through state scholarship programs. Diverse representation, academic excellence, and career readiness delivered entirely online, wherever you are. Secure your child's spot today. Secure your child's spot today. Visit our website.